Hey y'all, how you doing? It's Valerie here, and today we're going to be doing a seed haul. I got a few of these seeds from Etsy stores, and I will make sure to put a link to all the places I ordered seeds from in the description box. I find that ordering from Etsy enables me to sometimes get the seeds at a little bit of a cheaper price, but you do need to watch out for the shipping and handling because that can add up very quickly. Sometimes you get free shipping, sometimes it doesn't come with free shipping, so just be aware of that. If you're going to order seeds from Etsy, I suggest that you look at the reviews. People will not hesitate to let you know if they're unhappy with their order. So if you check the reviews and it's mostly good reviews, you can order from that particular seller with more ease of mind, knowing that you're going to get what you ordered most likely. I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but just go by the reviews. I always look at reviews and make sure that they've got majority of good reviews before I order from any Etsy store or eBay or Amazon, anything for that matter. This year in my garden, I'm going to be trying a lot of seeds that are supposedly deer resistant and deer proof, and I'm going to just be planting them in my field because I have noticed that all of those things that are deer resistant or deer proof and rodent resistant and rodent proof, a lot of those things still get eaten. So I want to grow a bunch of flowers and put them out in the field and see if they get eaten back or if they get ignored. Like, for instance, I put zinnias out in my field, not last year, but the year before, I think. And they ate them down when they came up, but then they didn't touch them after that. All my zinnias were able to bloom. The first initial sprouting, when they were probably 5 or 6 inches high, they got eaten. And then after that, they were left alone and they were all able to bloom. So I just want to put a bunch of stuff out in the field and see what needs to be behind fence and what doesn't. Because so far I have to fence in just about everything, and that gets highly frustrating when I've got all these places that I could tuck plants, but I can't really put them there because I don't have fencing up. Also, this year, one of my things that I've been trying to do is get my seed or my bean seed stock back up because I had some really cool, unusual beans. And when I got stung by the yellow jacket, not this past August, but the August before, and realized that I'm deathly allergic to them, that I gave all of my seeds away. Well, not all of them. I kept some seeds, but I gave a lot of my seed collection away because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get those seeds planted before they started losing germination, because there is a shelf life on seeds. Though most seeds, if they're stored correctly, will last a long time in storage. I ended up giving a large portion of my seed collection away to the seed swap group that I belong to, and they were able to distribute them out amongst the members on one of the seed swaps. So I've been on a mission to slowly get my bean collection back up, some of those unique varieties I have, because I really love growing beans. I love growing a bean that, like, it's green on the vine and then you crack it open and it's got like really cool, unusual seeds in it. Or, I have some beans that have like a red pod or some beans that have a purple pod. It's just really interesting to me, and I love growing beans. I love eating beans, but I love growing beans. That's one of the goals I've had this year, is to trade for and also buy some of those beans that I used to have in my collection. I just want to say I'm so happy that you guys are here to kind of nerd out with me over seeds. I love this time of year to get the seeds in, and it just helps me with like the wintertime blues. It gives me something to look forward to. It gives me hope for the new season. It makes me excited, and it just makes the long winter seem not so long. With that being said, I'm going to get into the seeds now. The first place I ordered from is called Val's Backyard Heirlooms. I got a tomato called Showstopper. There's not really anything to see. I will show you her logo in case you want to order from there. The next thing I got is a tomato called Green Lantern Lights. The next one, this was a gift, and it's called Renegade Spider. And then the last thing I got there is a pepper called Peppa Peach Stripey. There's not really anything to show you. There's no pictures on the seed packs or anything like that. This next place I ordered seeds from was also an Etsy store, and it was called Seven Hill Farm. And the first thing I got is this turkey craw bean. I will take these out and kind of show you because look how pretty those are. The next thing is the Kalao Mix Snapdragon. There's the spelling for you in case you want to look that up. The next thing I got is Mammoth Melting Snow Pea. And that's just a pea. I don't have any pea seeds for the spring, so it's good that I got those. Those were a free gift. I did not order them. They were sent as a gift, and I'm really appreciative of all the free gifts that you tend to get when you order seeds. This is the Red Bluff Strawberry Blonde Calendula. The next thing I got is a Seneca Cornstalk Bean. Can you see how pretty those are? And the last thing I got from this seed company is the San Bernardo Blue Pole Bean, also known as the Nona Agnes Pole Bean. And these are a mixture of like a blue and a brown. That's what the seeds come out like. This is one of the varieties that I had before that I was not able to trade for. And I found this Etsy store that had them, and they looked correct because I've grown them before, so I knew what they should look like. And that's what prompted me to do this whole order. It was literally for this one bean type. The other beans that I got in this from this store were not one of the ones I was trying to replace, but they were really cool looking, so I decided to order them anyways. But yeah, this San Bernardo Blue Pole Bean is what prompted me to order from that particular seller. The next place I've got seeds from on Etsy was Carolina's Paradise. And I ordered from them because I'm trying to get all the Star Wars tomatoes. A few years ago, I traded for a type of tomato called Rebel Alliance. And then also a few years ago, I traded for one called Rebel Starfighter Prime. Now since then, Baker's Creek has started selling the Rebel Starfighter Prime. But some of the other ones in this series of tomatoes are a little bit harder to find. And this particular seller had one of the varieties I was looking for, and it's called the Rebel Starfighter Beefsteak. I also had seeds for this before that I traded for, but I used them all, and I didn't, for some reason, save seeds, which is total slip up on my part. I'm usually pretty good about that, but for some reason this one slipped through the cracks. And then they gave me the chocolate cherry as a gift, which I love chocolate cherry tomatoes, so I'm so happy to have that. All right, the next shop I ordered from is called The Need for Seed. And it's all the reason I ordered from this one too is because it had a different tomato from the Star Wars series, and it's called Rebel Starfighter Blaine's Moonlight. And they had that seed available, so I ordered from them, and then they sent me indigo cherry drops as a free gift. The next place I ordered seeds from is called Bounty Hunter Seeds, and this is not an Etsy store. They have their own website, and they had a couple of the Star Wars tomato variety. I think at least one of the Star Wars tomato variety that I was looking for, but they also had some really cool beans. Okay, so the first thing I got here is the Dwarf Rebel Starfighter Dipper's Delight. You really can't see, it's just seeds. And then the rest of the things I've got were beans because they had some awesome looking beans. This first one is called Buckskin Girl Bean. They're kind of a gray with a stripe, darker stripe. I just think they're really pretty. Swiss Landfruin bean, Landfruen. I think that's how you say it, Landfruin. And see that? That's a really pretty bean there as well. The next one I have is called Amethyst Bean. They're like a purple burgundy color. The next one I've got is called Purple Star Bean. They're just really pretty. They've kind of got a purple burgundy speckles. And then the last one they sent me as a free gift, and it's called Kermit's Smoky Mountain, which I appreciate because those are really interesting looking bean too. Okay. The next place that I ordered seeds from was Wild Boar Farms because they have this tomato. It's called Cherokee Rose, and it's a cross between a Cherokee Purple and some other variety. I forget which one, but it's like this dusky pink color, and it's got the kind of fuzzy skin to it, the matte skin. And I grew this a few years ago, and I have been thinking about this tomato ever since. And I did not save seeds from it, and I just really, really wanted it, so I ordered some seeds, the Cherokee Rose. And then while I was on there, I saw this one, and it's called the Green Zebra Cherry. It looks like a green zebra tomato, but it's a cherry tomato instead of being a big slicer. I don't know if it tastes similar, but I plan on growing both the Green Zebra Cherry and the Green Zebra this season. So we'll see if the taste is similar or if it's just literally that they look alike, except for one's a cherry. Okay, the next place that I got seeds from is Pine Tree Seeds. And I got this Viola Honeybee. Really pretty. Most of these from here are going to be flowers, but there are some other things. Basil Everleaf Lemon Tower. I got the Everleaf Emerald Green, I think is what it's called, and the Everleaf Towers Thai Basil. And these things get tall like a tower, and it takes them so long to go to flower. This is just a Dusty Miller. This is the old-fashioned kind, not the new look, which I prefer. I prefer the old-fashioned kind over the new look. I got some ornamental oregano, Kirigami, some Bloody Mary nasturtium. My nasturtium collection is another one that I gave away when I gave away my seeds. So I'm slowly trying to get back some of the nasturtium varieties I used to have. I got this twister grass. I have some of this in my garden already, and I just want more. And then I've got some Dichondra Silver Falls. I grew some of that from seed last year, and it did fairly well. I just need to start it earlier this year because I started it kind of late last year, and it ended up growing in my garden, but it needs to be a little bit further ahead this year by the time I put it out. Okay, the next place I got seeds from is Seeds and Such. I got this Lobelia Regatta Formula Mix. Sometimes I get these from the nursery, and it's fine getting it from there, but I thought I would just try growing it myself this year. Now, there are a few nurseries around my house that I will still go spend some money at this spring, even though I've got all these seeds and I don't necessarily need any plants from them. I like to go buy at least a few things just to give my money to a small business and help support them. So I'll find something that I don't have or something that looks unique to me or find some kind of perennial or just whatever and still purchase from those nurseries. I got this hybrid tomato called Sugary. And the reason I got it is because it boasts to be one of the sweetest tomatoes out there that they've tried, according to the company, to the seeds and such, their description. And every time someone says, oh, it's one of the sweetest tomatoes, I have to try it. Because so far, it's still Sun Gold for me. That's the sweetest. I will say that every tomato that I have tried that boasts to be the sweetest tomato, Sun Gold usually beats them. However, they're really good still. So I've never been disappointed in one that boasts sweetness, even if it hasn't been quite as sweet as a Sun Gold. This is the cucumber long green, and this was a gift. This is some Alstroemeria Lig 2 hybrids. This is a lily type, or a Peru lily, I think is what it's called. Peruvian lily. I've got these hybrid tomato seeds, Dark Star. And I got those because it's Dark Star, and that's a Grateful Dead song. And I'm not sure if the tomato was named after the song or not, but in my mind, it's a Grateful Dead tomato, and I had to buy it. I got some Lysianthus, some Echo Double Mix. Every year when I grow Lysianthus, I'm always like, I've never grown them again. I'm just not doing it because they're such a pain. They stay small forever. They're a pain to get started. However, every fall and summer when they're in bloom, I'm like, okay, I'll definitely grow Lysianthus again. And then it gets to winter time, and since it's one of the first seeds you start, you're just itching to do something that's garden related. So I'm like, well, I can always start some Lysianthus. So I always get Lysianthus. But by the time, late winter, early spring comes about and it's not quite planting out time, I'm always like, I'm never doing it again. I'm never doing it again. And then I always do it again. Oh, look. Another bounty hunter seed that fell into my lap, and I just found. This is another one in the Star Wars series, and once again, this is bounty hunter seeds. But this one is called Rebel Starfighter Kayleigh. Okay, back to the seeds and such. I got this big red pepper. This I think was also a gift. I did not order that one. Independence Day tomato. This was a gift. I happened to order at a time when their special was they were offering 3 free seeds for every order. It was right before Christmas. I got this hybrid cucumber martini. This is why I put in this order, is because at one of the local nurseries, I always get these martini cucumbers. But last year, they didn't have very many packs of them, and I had to really search to even find them. So I'm afraid that they're phasing them out of selling at their particular nursery. So I just decided to order seeds, and I will support them by getting something different when I go look at their stuff this year, even though I won't necessarily have to get those cucumbers from there. I got this pansy ruffled feathers mix, and it's a pansy. Love pansies. Pansies are the first flower that I ever grew by myself. When I was younger, I got a African violet, but I was like 8 or 10, and I begged my mom for this violet. I begged her every time I went to the store, and finally she got it for me. But let's be real, she's the one that took care of it. So whenever I got old enough and I was a teenager, one of the first flowers that she bought for me that I grew myself and I put in the ground and planted myself and took care of myself was pansies. And a lot of times they're in bloom around my birthday in February. Now these ones won't be because they won't be put out then, but if I had put them out in the fall, a lot of times the pansies will still be in bloom in February on my birthday because the snow doesn't quite kill them out. And the next one is just the sun gold tomatoes. I grow these every year and I was out of seeds. The last place that I ordered from was Baker's Creek. Okay, the first thing I got is this Rebel Starfighter Prime, once again, part of the Star Wars series, and I used all my seeds last year because I put this in the seedling sale. The next thing I got is the Snow Princess Calendula, the Primrose or Primula Fuji Sunset, the Autumn Zebra Pole Bean because they just look really pretty, the Primula or Primrose Kimono Blue, Pippin's Golden Honey Pepper, and this was a free gift, and I'm glad I got this because I'm out of seeds, and I do really like this pepper variety. The Dahlia Black Forest Ruby, and I have been growing dahlias from seeds and saving my own seeds, but I wanted to get this dark foliage that's on this in the genetic mix of all the rest of my dahlias, so hopefully it mixes with some of my other varieties and we can get some of that dark foliage and some of the other colors. This Nodding Salvia, I just thought that that was really pretty the way it kind of hangs. And Salvia seems to be pretty deer and rabbit and groundhog resistant. Next thing are these Good Mother Stallard beans, because once again they're cool beans. Cherokee Trail of Tear beans, really pretty bean. Tomato Palomino, it just looked really yummy, and it's a nice big paste tomato, and I hope it tastes as good as it looks. And then the last thing is this Dattil or Datil pepper. And this is another free gift, and it's a very hot pepper. All right, that's all the seeds I have for you today. I'm just really excited about this next growing season. I'm going to be retooling some things, as always, when you're in the garden. I feel like I'm always retooling something and trying to improve things, but just getting these seeds and seeing all the new varieties that I'm going to be able to grow this year, it's really exciting to me. Drop me a line below and let me know what you're growing in your garden this year, what you're excited to try, what new seed varieties that you've got. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.